So, what happens in a world where nearly everyone is operating out of separateness, but is still deeply connected? It's the world we live in, where we have a bunch of cells running around in different directions without any sense of being part of a whole body. Just look at the way we eat our food. If you eat like the average American, much of what you eat isn't even food. It's as if you think even your food isn't connected to who you are. Oftentimes, the source of our food is doing extreme harm. It is harmful to the planet by how it's cultivated and transported. It's harmful to the people by exploiting their land and their time. Now, I'm not here to bash on the man or big business or big ag or anything like that. I trust that we are all responsible for the state of things, that we all have a hand in it. It is not the corruption of a few people. It is the lack of participation of nearly everyone. I'm also not here to wallow in the hopelessness of it all. What I know is that when you begin to align yourself energetically to the whole, you feel called to participate and help do things in a more functional way. You can't do that if you are unwilling to look at human suffering and environmental wounds. We have to look at it, allow ourselves to feel it, stay spiritually grounded in basic goodness of creation, and then do what we feel called to do. Oftentimes when people experience a spiritual awakening, they start to feel really uncomfortable around dysfunctional people and circumstances. And then they retreat. Or worse, they begin to preach or try and fix the problems. These are both symptoms of falling back into a habit of separateness. There is no dysfunction out there. If you want to make a difference, you do so by taking ownership. People say you can't change anyone but yourself. But where do you stop and someone else begins? If you are really one, then your thriving is their thriving, and their thriving is your thriving. Your thriving is the planet's thriving. The planet's thriving is your thriving. And if you can meet others' resistance to connection with compassion, then you will also be able to meet your own resistance with compassion. The process is the same as it is with personal healing, bringing the truth of a loving connection to whatever stands in the way. Now, this is an exploration, and it is an exploration that I am definitely still in. What I ask of myself, and what you might ask of yourself, is to have a practice of meeting any suffering, regardless of the circumstances, with compassion. You may still feel fear and want to separate yourself, but you can come back to your sense of oneness. You will find yourself inspired by suffering instead of hopeless. It's a really different way of approaching this. You feel hopeless and you try and fix it, and it's a struggle, and nothing you do is ever going to be enough to solve these big, immense problems. But if instead you can be inspired by the pain you see or the problems you see, if you can feel inspired, that makes you incredibly powerful. It also makes your life really delicious and purposeful. In the next video, I'm going to be covering ways to begin cultivating a healthy relationship with the whole. How you can start really enjoying being a part of an interconnected universe. Once you are able to be present with what's not working, it also allows you to be present to what is working. It allows you to enjoy people and the planet and things on a much deeper level than you can when you're trying to turn a blind eye to such a huge component of what's going on right now.